Fasting and feasting. The new wine and the old wine. Jesus is the new wine, and He is the bridegroom, and the wedding celebration has begun. A never-ending wedding celebration, a time for feasting for all eternity. Is your life a feasting or a fasting? To make it clearer, the question is, are you a Christian or are you just being religious? A very serious question. Are you really a Christian or are you just being a religious person? Pharisees were religious people. Practices, traditions, fasting on the right day, praying at the right time. They were religious. We can be religious without being a Christian. I can go to Mass, I can do the candles, say the prayers, do the rosary, everything without being a Christian, without being with the bridegroom. May I put it in a different way? If the entrance hymn we had this morning, just now, if that is your hymn of life, you are a Christian. I like to play that hymn every day if only I could. That is the hymn of a Christian. Singing of the goodness of God, the greatness of God, the mercy of God, and then your life is changed because you realize how good God is. Full of gratitude and joy. Your life is a never-ending celebration. A never-ending celebration. Understand this truth. Everything with Christ is new. Everything with Christ is new. You will look at life in a different way if you know the good news of Jesus. If you look at your sufferings in a different way, if you know the good news of Jesus. If you look at the whole world, the humanity, everything happening in the world in a brand new way, if you know the mind of Christ. Everything about Jesus is completely new, a new wine skin. You can't put old into it. In other words, you have a very different way of looking at everything once you have known the heart of Christ. I'll make the point clearer and clearer with one thing or the other with more examples. Again, I am going back to that basic fundamental question, are you a Christian? This is a way to check your life. The devotions you do, the Mass you attend, the fasting you do, the prayers you do, what is making you do those things? What makes you do what you do? For example, do you want others to know that you are fasting? Do you want others to know that you are fasting? Do you want others to know that you have some days of abstinence because you are preparing for a feast? I heard some say, I am preparing for the feast of Our Lady on Sunday, so I am not eating any meat these days. You are telling the whole world, I am preparing for a feast. You are not a Christian. This is the relationship between the bridegroom and you. You don't want anybody to know about it. Spirituality is a private thing, a personal relationship. You don't want anyone to know what is happening between me and the Lord. It's a personal Relation, not a public stunt. Nothing for the show. You should be embarrassed if somebody knows that you are doing this devotion. My point is clear. Being a Christian is all about that devotion, that love for Christ. Not for anything for public consumption or somebody's appreciation or to be seen as a good Christian. Oh, they think I'm a good Catholic because I go to Mass, I do this, I do that, I do fasting, I do a lot of prayers. Oh, I want to feel good about myself because I do all these things. Very shallow spiritual, not even a spirituality. It's a feeding your ego. Feeding your shallow ego. You want to feel good about yourself. You want to be seen as a good person, a good Christian. You're feeding your thirsty and hungry ego, no spirituality. Empty practices. The other is, you are singing all the time. In your suffering, in your sickness, in your loneliness, you say, oh, the goodness of God, the grace and mercy following me everywhere. I am suffering, I am in tears, but the goodness and mercy following me everywhere. I'm singing of the goodness of God. Make that hymn your daily prayer.